breaking news.
Yes, breaking right now, an Amber Alert has been issued for this 16-year-old Penn Hills girl. Her name is Marjani Akil. And police say this 19-year-old Jermaine Rogers broke into her Glenbrook Drive home and took her around 4:30 p.m. That breaking news tops our newscast tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm David Johnson.
And I'm Marlisa Goldsmith. If you have the WPXI News app, you've been getting updates for the last several hours as this situation has developed. We want to get right to Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca live in Penn Hills tonight with details that are new since we broke into programming earlier tonight. Gabriella.
Marlisa, within the last hour, we have learned from investigators that a witness saw the suspect, Jermaine Rogers, allegedly with a pistol, and he apparently made threats that he was going to send someone back to the neighborhood to start shooting. We were over there. We are now at the Penn Hills Police Department working to learn the very latest on this missing teen. I want to pull up her photo right away so you can take a good look at her. This is 16-year-old Marjani Akil. She goes to Penn Hills High School. Her stepfather told me tonight her 19-year-old ex-boyfriend, Jermaine Rogers, broke into the home, beat her up, then abducted her from their home on Glenbrook Court. I was inside the home tonight and saw that pieces of the door frame were actually broken and lying on the ground. The stepdad says Marjani's friend was also inside the home when this attack happened. Police tell Channel 11 Rogers was last seen driving an older red sedan. Penn Hills police confirm Rogers was also arrested back in March after being accused of holding Marjani against her will in a Wilkinsburg apartment for several days. Now, we are here working to learn the very latest. Police are asking if you know anything about where they are to call 911 immediately. I'll have another report for you coming up in 15 minutes. Reporting live from Penn Hills Police, Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
All right, Gabriella, thank you very much. It's a very fluid situation, obviously. We're going to check back in with you in the next 15 minutes. More breaking news happening now in Portview. Our cameras are live on Weldon Street, where firefighters are more than an hour into battling a stubborn blaze there. There were reports that one person may have been trapped initially, but right now we have no reports of injuries.
Happening now, Severe Weather Team 11 is tracking the second of 3 winter weather systems. This next one could bring snow tomorrow.
That's right, Marlisa. And Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist Stephen Cropper timing this system that could arrive just in time for the evening commute. Stephen.
Yeah, we've been talking about this series of storms. The next one coming in tomorrow afternoon, as Marlisa was saying, and it will bring snow to the area. The temperature will be the critical piece of the puzzle. Some of the snow will melt at first. Let me show you what I'm seeing for now. The system rolls in after lunch tomorrow and moves in from southwest to northeast. So you see, coming up by 8 o'clock or 5 o'clock, I should say, we're looking at steadier snowfall for Pittsburgh up to Butler, Zelian, Opal, Beaver, down to Washington. As we watch the evening unfold, still looking at periods of steady snow from about I-70 northward, and there will be enough there falling to allow it to accumulate, so expect some snow-covered roads before it finally starts to transition to rain and eventually ends around midnight. Coming up, I'll let you know how much you'll see out of this system. It's not a big deal, but it's falling during the commute. The even bigger deal is the weekend storm. I've got new timing to show you. Just put together a new storm tracker map with an arrival time for your neighborhood.
All right, Stephen, we'll see you then. Thank you. Also breaking right now, the Franklin Park Borough Council has voted to deny a Marcellus shale gas lease to Penn Energy that would have allowed drilling near a popular park. This has been a huge issue in that community. Channel 11's Michelle Newell live there now with the latest details. Michelle.
David, it was standing room only behind these doors tonight. So many people lined up to tell council members why they were against this proposal. And once the vote was made, just about everyone in the room was clapping. It's what so many Franklin Park residents wanted to hear tonight.
2 votes in favor, 4 votes opposed.
His motion fails.
The proposal to allow fracking along Bixawickly Creek Road won't be happening. Thaddeus Popovich and so many other Franklin Park residents have publicly expressed opposition to the proposed oil and gas lease agreement between the borough and Penn Energy for the Lynbrook Park property. The well pad would have been an economy borough, a mile and a half from the park.
They're listening to us residents. I know some of them
them personally, and they're all about pork.
Thaddeus Popovich and so many other Franklin Park residents have publicly expressed opposition to the proposed oil and gas lease agreement between the borough and Penn Energy for the Lynbrook Park property. The well pad would have been an economy borough, a mile and a half from the park.
I think they were getting weary of us showing up so often, but we understood we have voices, and before this we didn't know we had voices, so that's very important.
But not everyone is happy about the decision.
Just please think of the simple fact of how stopping this will prevent many of us from protecting what's left of the land.
Dave Graff and some other residents spoke out tonight in favor of the proposal.
This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to get some money back, to afford to hold on to our land, put the money back and preserve it, and then, a lot of us just lost that opportunity.
Graff says he also has several other reasons.
The improvements that would have been made to the township, they were, I heard, planning on putting in public sewer and water through the park. That would have improved that park tenfold, and then now that's out of the picture, so it's pretty upsetting.
So there was also a man here tonight who spoke, who said he was in charge of the leasing in this proposal. Even though he was not or is not a resident of this area, council members still allowed him to speak. Reporting live, I'm Michelle Newell for Channel 11 News.
Thanks so much, Michelle. The mother of Trayvon Martin shared her son's story tonight in Pittsburgh as she calls attention to gun violence that's taking young lives. Sabrina Fulton spoke tonight at the Pittsburgh Theological Seminary. Trayvon Martin was killed in Sanford, Florida back in 2012 when he was just 17 years old. He was shot by a neighborhood watch volunteer who was later acquitted. Fulton now works to help families who have lost children to gun violence. And right now, there's several unsolved murders of teenagers in our area. That includes 16-year-old Jonathan Freeman. His family says he was playing video games at a friend's house in Homewood a little earlier this month when someone opened fire. We have more on these unsolved cases on our website, WPXI.com.
Meantime, developing right now, Chartiers Township Police investigating the death of a 5-month-old baby boy. We are told the child was not breathing when officers arrived there at the home. Officers started CPR. He was taken to Canonsburg Hospital. But police tell us they are waiting on an autopsy. The Washington County Coroner's Office says the death does not appear to be suspicious.
Police in Westmoreland County say a man lit his own house on fire before breaking into a neighbor's home and claiming people were after him. The neighbor tells Channel 11 Brian McVicker burst into his Ligonier Township home overnight. He says McVicker had a fire extinguisher in one hand and a bottle of Yukon Jack in the other and sprayed the fire extinguisher all over his house.
Yeah, I was stunned, I didn't know what was going on, but I could tell he was, out there a little bit.
The house that was on fire had to be demolished. Police say McVicker admitted to smoking meth, and tonight his neighbors left cleaning up the mess.
The latest details tonight about a man accused of sexually assaulting 2 teenage boys. Aaron Collins is in the Fayette County Jail right now. Investigators say he repeatedly assaulted a 19-year-old who had mental disabilities, offering sex in exchange for cigarettes and a ride to the grocery store. And police say a 17-year-old victim told Collins about his troubled home life and was given alcohol and marijuana before the sexual assaults.
Investigators are trying to figure out what started a fire in Plain Grove Township, Lawrence County. These are viewer photos from the scene tonight on Plain Grove Road. Check them out. We're told the fire started in an unattached garage and spread to the house. Fortunately, no one was hurt. And new at 11, a nurse is facing charges after state investigators say she stole drugs from a local hospital. According to the criminal complaint, Julie Zetkulik was fired from Excella Health Westmoreland Hospital after admitting to taking drugs, including fentanyl. But investigators say no drugs were withheld from patients. Zetkulik is due in court later on this month. And also new at 11, a doctor facing several lawsuits tonight over the deaths of nearly 30 patients. Channel 11 news anchor Gordon Lesh found out he's accused of ordering lethal doses of fentanyl. Gordon, good evening.
Yeah, David, good evening. At least 27 patients were allegedly given potentially lethal amounts of pain medication at an Ohio hospital. One doctor and a hospital are now facing 2 lawsuits.
This doctor ordered significantly excessive and potentially fatal doses of pain medication for at least 27 patients who were near death.
Dr. William Hustle has been terminated, and 20 more hospital workers who were allegedly involved with administering potentially lethal doses to patients have been removed from patient care. In a memo to their staff, the hospital notified their employees that an investigation was underway and that the authorities had been alerted after 2 staff members came forward.
They don't have the right, the legal or moral or professional right to engage in a mercy killing.
Jared Leesburg, an attorney representing the family of Janet Kavanaugh, who is one of Dr. Hustle's patients, says he was stunned when he saw how much pain medication she had been injected with.
As we were, carefully reading through the records of the hospitalization, we saw the documentation of the dosage of 1,000 micrograms of fentanyl, which was shocking.
Mount Carmel says the victims' families had already requested that all life-saving measures on the patients be stopped.
We believe in helping patients who are near death die peacefully and naturally. The actions instigated by this doctor were unacceptable.
Mount Carmel's CEO says regardless of the reasons the actions were taken, they're taking responsibility, and they're now looking at new processes to prevent it from happening again. Gordon Lesh, Channel 11 News.
Thank you. Once again, our big breaking story tonight, an Amber Alert has been issued for the 2 teens on your screen right there. The girl on the left believed to be in danger. The suspect on the right believed to have a gun. Stay with Channel 11 News for the latest updates.
And a woman in her 90s saved from an oncoming train. What the man who helped her says about the moment he knew he had to act.
And new at 11, a law some people dream about. I know I do. The punishment lawmakers are cooking up for people who drive too slowly in the fast lane.
Just the simplest and kindest
gesture. A local family home from the hospital after a harrowing ordeal with their newborn. The special way doctors and nurses said goodbye.
Across the country.